Hello, everyone. My name is Gus.
Hi, I'm Woody.
Today we have an interesting one. Mainly, this was inspired by a video that we reacted to a couple weeks ago, where they found a diver decapitated. And I made a comment on the video about how, like, trying to explain how it was decapitated, whether it was a shark, whether it was just a bunch of little fish that ate their head, like what happened. And I mentioned that I don't think it was a shark because I feel like a shark would have eaten the whole body. Like, why would they just eat the head and leave the rest of the body? It doesn't make any, just because it's protected by a wetsuit doesn't mean they wouldn't bite to try to find out what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and what I'm thinking is you act like you have some real knowledge and expertise in this, like how people would be decapitated underwater by marine life. Is this another area of study you have?
I think that I sound so factual and accurate that people think I have a PhD on this, but I don't.
Yeah, I didn't know that you could study how do humans get decapitated by marine life. It's a whole nother area.
But anyway,
apparently have knowledge in.
Some of the comments are people, in my opinion, doing something nice, which is inviting us to dive in Australia, which is cool. I'm like, I have a boat in Australia. You should come and dive.
Wow.
I feel really excited. Now, when I read the comment, it sounds like a threat more than an invitation. I take it as an invitation. I take it as thank you.
Oh, it's like, you should come to Australia. Then you'll see.
Oh, you don't think sharks are a risk for divers? You should
come to Australia. We'll kill you.
You should come to Australia.
Our sharks kill you.
Oh, our shark. It's specific. The other sharks in the world. No,
So the bull sharks in South Florida, they don't have the same level of testosterone.
No, they're idiots. Apparently, the ones in Australia apparently are the ones. According to the experts in the comments.
Okay.
On the video, he's like, you should tell that to the victim of whatever. You should watch this video on a YouTube channel.
And by the way, not all of them. I mean, our subscribers are amazing. Let's be honest.
I'm talking about just the people.
99.9% are amazing, but then every once in a while,
they have some
guys. We get these like, what are you talking about?
Because 99.999% of our subscribers have an IQ higher than an ashtray, and they can actually comment things that make sense, make a lick of sense.
They do. They're awesome.
Yeah. But there's sometimes people out there who they're either on purpose trying to look dumb or they're just dumb, and
the latter.
And they just feel like they need to prove a point. And I've always mentioned this. I say, look, I'm gonna just make it crystal clear. Sharks don't represent a danger for divers. They don't. They're all over the oceans. We actually seek to go diving with sharks. And before you comment and sound like a complete ignorant idiot and say, well, some sharks, tiger sharks will kill you, bull sharks will kill you, great whites will kill you. No, they don't. They don't care about divers.
Otherwise, imagine how many people daily in South Florida.
Billions of sharks.
Well, just think, South Florida every day. How many divers are going out? That's got to be one of the dive capitals of the world.
Yeah.
How many deaths every day are the tigers and bulls? Because South Florida is loaded with tigers and bulls.
The most aggressive ones, according to experts.
You hear anything happen yesterday? Anybody die?
It doesn't happen. It's the same. It's the same level of ignorance that's saying that pit bulls are killer machines. Just because a pit bull kill a baby here or there, or there are some owners who are complete, I don't want to say the word, and they breed these dogs to fight and be aggressive, doesn't mean that all dogs is a blanket statement and say all pit bulls are evil killing machines. It's just stupid to say that, and it's the same to say that with sharks. Have there been attacks in the past where sharks have attacked humans? Yes. But do sharks target humans? No. They don't. They just don't. Okay? Now, don't post below and be like, tell that to the survivors of the USS Indianapolis. Yeah, there have been cases in the past where sharks have killed humans. That is undeniable. You don't have to share links to videos or sharks are biting humans. It happens. But they don't target humans. If so, like Woody said, daily, there will be dead people in Florida alone. Just in Florida. We're not counting Australia, where apparently the sharks are more vicious and target divers. They learn. I guess. They don't. It's the same as saying the humans are cannibals just because there's one time in history where somebody was a serial killer that ate humans and just use a blanket statement. All humans are cannibals. That's just stupid. So to say that all sharks target humans is dumb. Having said that, here's the video that...
I don't think anybody's going to wonder where you stand on this, though.
Well, here's the video.
That dissertation.
I haven't seen this video, but this was a video of very dangerous sharks with divers.
Ooh.
And who knows? Maybe these sharks will
special killers.
Will break them in half. So let's check it out. Great technique, this guy. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, from behind.
By the way, this shark, if he wanted to murder this diver, cut it in half, he would already have done that.
And you know how fast he would move in? It'd be lightning. The guy would be not even know he just got eaten. Yeah. That's how fast it would happen. So let's see if this killer, what he does.
I mean, they barely survive, I bet. Look,
oh.
Weird. He's not targeting the diver. Oh, he's probably going to eat the guy with the camera, though. That's so weird.
By the way, it's a tiger shark.
That is the size of a bus.
So for sure, he's going to die.
Oh, yeah. No, Oh, there's another. That's so weird that didn't kill this guys, huh? Can you believe that?
How did he live? He just got lucky?
I guess so.
That's some cool dive.
That's a new Patty specialty. Bottom standing. Part of the advanced diver package. But, yeah, it's weird. Like the most...
We got lucky.
Aggressive, vicious shark in the world. The tiger shark.
3 times the size of him and stronger than that human. Just cruise by and just...
He could have literally just by the arm and keep swimming.
Luck.
And he's so weird that he didn't, huh?
Well, you found a weird one.
That was such a one-off. Oh, no, they'll probably say that it's because the other ones, all the sharks have killed the divers and ate the camera. So that's why we don't have those videos. This one was just that one. That shark probably already ate so many divers that day that this day was just like, yeah,
it's full.
He's
full.
I'm gonna pass on these guys.
I just had a buffet.
It's just come on, just stop. Don't be okay. Anyway,
by the way, would you want? How awesome would that dive be right there to be with these tigers?
I would be all over that.
Amazing footage.
Absolutely, sharks are amazing, and I accept your invitation to take a shark diving in Australia. Well, let's do it. I'm in. Another thing I will say is because this video is so short, I put together a few other videos that I think we can just watch. Okay. They're like 10 seconds long and just comment. Add our commentary. This is Dive Talk, by the way. Don't comment below and be like, you guys talk too much. It's in the name of the channel. Look, talk. All right. Anyway, so for video number 2, these divers encounter a sonar ping. You know how the sonar's like on the submarines? Well, let's watch.
Ooh.
In fictional media, sonar is often portrayed as a simple ping or boing sound that makes it easy for viewers to understand and connect with the concept. These simplified and exaggerated representations are used for dramatic effect or to make the technology more relatable to audiences. However, these divers here encounter an actual sonar ping, and it is not as pleasant as fictional media portrays.
Fake news.
Wow. You heard him? Now that could be very far away, by the way. That sound travels far underwater, right? The water's 4 times denser than air. It's traveling 4 times faster, I believe, the sound.
Yep.
And you can't tell where it's coming from.
Oh, boy. You just said 4 times faster. Now your comments below, it's actually 3.98 times faster.
Yeah, I mess up a lot. I know.
How can you believe
but it is,
you guys don't know this?
But that can be exaggerated. Like, that could sound like it was right next to you. That thing may have been a submarine a mile away.
And you don't know where it comes from.
No,
because
no way.
You know, when you're out of the water and people talk to you, the sound makes you look the way it's coming from. Underwater, it's just like, bing, it just sounds everywhere.
Off the density. But it is interesting that it doesn't sound like the fictional one of the boing. It's a totally different sound.
And you know what else is surprising? It's almost as loud as the Garmin transmitters. Almost.
Yeah, not quite though.
No, the Garmin transmitters.
Got that thing. That's a whole new level of noise underwater. You get a signal.
Shout out to Garmin.
You get a signal, but you can't hear when you get to the surface.
So it's not as bad, but it was close.
Oh man, you're never ever getting another Garmin product. But I'm just saying,
they work. I'm not saying they don't work.
You love your final one.
I mean, I have my.
So in 20 years, when it's all modern new technology, you'll still have that one.
What did you say? I couldn't. Couldn't hear you over the loud transmitter. Anyway, here's one about cave diving, which we happen to know about. So let's check it out.
The Reaper's warning can be found in most underwater mapped caves. It is there to tell you that you are leaving the daylight zone or cavern zone and entering a full underwater cave. It is also there to help turn away non-cave certified divers from entering the cave and potentially getting lost.
Nothing to say, right?
Weak and
That's
sweet.
What it's for.
I will say that I was pleasantly surprised of how accurate this guy was in the description when he said the Reaper sign is found in underwater mapped caves, because it's true. When you go to unmapped caves or caves that are not open to the public, there's no sign. Typically, you don't get a sign at all. It's just like you're going in, you know that you're gonna die, you know that you could die. You don't need a Reaper sign because people don't go there.
That's a good detail.
Yeah, so the guy said it's found in underwater mapped caves, which is true. But it's not always the case. Like we have the Reaper sign here.
I remember him when I used to cave dive, seeing this.
Sometimes you have different signs. Like this one that you see here is from Abaco, which is more of a warning sign, caution. It doesn't have the Reaper sign, but I like the Reaper sign. I think it's cool. I'm pro Reaper.
It. I am too, because it's kind of like when you're coming out after a long exit and you see it. I don't know. It's a little bit of a like, I'm there. Like it's kind of cool.
Yeah, Reaper
I'm in the
crew.
cavern. I'm in the cavern zone, and just to make sure everybody understands, it's not a cave diver. Once you pass that sign, you will be going into the no light zone. So they try to place it right at the spot where you go from still being able to see a little bit of light from the surface to no light beyond this point.
Yeah,
other than your lights.
There is no special rule, as far as I know. Maybe you know, but there is no special rule about where the sign is to be placed. Like, I feel like the placement.
Is it what I said? Is it between the light and no light zone?
Well, it's supposed to be.
Okay.
But I feel like the placement of the Reaper sign, the cave diving sign, is kind of like baseball stadiums, where in a baseball stadium, the home plate and the bases, like the diamond part of it, is standard. Like the bases are 90 feet away or whatever it is. I think it's 90. But you know, the distances and what the plate, the infield is called, looks like. The pitcher mound, like all of that is standard. But then after that, it's like whatever. Like if you look at the stadium in Boston, for example, Fenway Park, it's like there's a giant wall, right? The Green Monster is called. If you look at another stadium, they have like a mountain in the center field. They have a forest, a swimming pool. Like they just do whatever. Like right after the infield is like up for whatever. Like baseball is so weird like that, where the field is just like, who cares after that? And I feel that when it comes to the cave diving signs, it's kind of the same. Because if you look at where the sign is at Eagle's Nest, for example, you can clearly see light where the sign is, but the light is like a tiny speck up in the ceiling. Yep. And then if you look at where the sign is, let's say at Orange Grove, it's pretty far away from the light. Or if you look at where the sign used to be, I think they moved it at Vortex. It's like you're super far, like on the no light zone by the time you're running to the sign, which is why I think so many like open water divers get to the sign and then are like confused, like, whoa, like this is a cave right now. And I think they moved it because of it. So it doesn't seem to be like a standard. Like, you know, once you don't see light, that's where you drop it. In a lot of places at the sign, you can still see light. And then in some places you can't see any light. It's like weird. The placement is weird. And then there are some places that have signs that you're like completely unexplained. Like I went to Blue Grotto recently. I was doing training for Blake on the go.
Yeah.
There's like 3 signs now.
Yeah, they've
in
changed
different
it.
places.
And it used to be that they allowed non-cave divers, or they didn't put a sign indicating that bottom part is kind of a U, really. That's the best way to describe it. But when you get down to that bottom part where the rope is, that now they put a sign indicating you're going to become in a no light zone.
Yeah.
So I don't know what changed that. I guess some people said when it silts up from a lot of divers that you're absolutely going to be in a no light zone there.
Well, I think it's weird because they used to be like this giant rope that they had that you can follow.
That's what I mean.
They replaced that.
Wow.
You know, I went when they removed it and they put like cave diving signs. I think this is all insurance, to be honest. I think they were trying to insure the place, and they're like, well, your insurance is going to be $1 gazillion because you're not warning people this is a cave, even though it's not really a cave. But anyway, they put the signs, and now there's like people, they put line in there. It's like gold line. It's like cave line, and he has arrows, and he says exit this way and stuff like that. It's kind of weird.
Though. I don't think they're doing anything.
I went all the way to the bottom with Blake during our go training, and you can look up and see sunlight.
All the way from the very bottom?
All the way from the bottom, yeah. Maybe because he wasn't stirred up. Like the divers most divers will stick into the top.
Exactly.
And not coming all the way to the bottom. But yeah, 30 meters down to 100 feet down, you can still see the light. So, I don't know. Regardless, I like to see the sign, and it's super cool when you go through all the training and finally earn the right to leave the sign behind you.
I know,
That's
exciting.
pretty cool. You just go over, and then it's really cool to see the sign when you're coming back and you see the back of the sign. You know that now you're in the light zone. You know the dive is kind of over.
Yeah.
And you just completed another successful dive, which is great. Okay, so now let's talk about overhead environments. In this case, this is divers that found a plane underwater and they're going inside of it. So let's check it out.
The music is...
Yeah. Get that tactical snorkel.
Is that a little dramatic for this dive?
Well, yeah, obviously they're trying to make it sound like it's the craziest thing ever. It's a fuselage, but you can see... Well, let's just talk about it in a second after we're done with the video. He does the swim. There's another chunk over there missing. So another diver making it through. With his tactical snorkel. Anyway,
confused of why anything on that music makes sense for what they just did.
So let's talk about it, keeping in mind the fact that
from me to you with a little bit of an overhead above their head, but there's cutouts and light everywhere.
Right. A lot of people watching our channel are not divers. And I think that if you're not a diver and you're watching this, and even if you're a brand new diver, like an open water diver, I think that you would think that going in a thing like this, in this case, it's an airplane fuselage. I've seen school buses that are gutted just like this. It's like a no-go. Like, you should not do this. But there are special rules when you become a diver on when is okay to do a swim through, whether it's coral, a school bus, or a plane like this.
2 people can fit in, and you can see the exit where 2 people can fit out.
And
there's distance. Looks like this is that.
Yeah, and there are distance limitations. Let's say like 30 feet or 10 meters, right? It seems like this plane A was gutted completely. There's nothing really to get snagged that I saw. There's no remaining chairs or anything where you can like
could put 5 people in there,
yeah,
from what I'm seeing.
You can have like a whole group of people in there.
Party.
Super light, so there's light everywhere, right? So it's like huge broken on the side. You can see where the guy went in. It's like this huge like door going in, and then the fuselage is completely open. Super safe. It seems shallow just because of the light. I don't know how deep they are, but it seems like it's pretty shallow, so no problem. This was no risk in spite of the threatening music that they added.
It didn't fit what they were. Maybe some upbeat, happy. Oh, this is a cool little fun thing to do.
Exactly.
That's what I would have expected there.
But other than that, cool.
Oh.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
If you have the opportunity...
My favorite was the tiger shark one, of how lucky
Well, we have one more. We have one more.
Okay.
But I was just going to say that if you are a brand new diver and have the opportunity to do a swim through, I personally recommend it as long as it's safe like this, because it really helps you practice your trim and buoyancy, right? So you have, imagine an airplane fuselage like this or a bus. You're like, I'm going to be in the middle. I don't want to touch the bottom. I don't want to touch the top. I don't want to touch sides. I just want to be like a submarine going through the middle. It allows you to practice in a place where it's more control. So I like that, and that's pretty
fun.
All right, last video. This one is it's a weird one. It's titled "This Was a Creepy Find While Scuba Diving." So let's check it out. So what is that?
Whoa.
What is that? A cow? Like
wow.
A dinosaur? Like what is that? And they
What was that animal? It almost, did it have a giant tooth hanging down?
No,
inside of the
it
skull?
looked like a T-Rex or something.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
I'm sure that's what it was a T-Rex. I mean, you would know.
The fact
it's one of your specialties is.
Yeah, I think people watching the channel think I'm a paleontologist. I'm not. I talk.
You're not?
I know. It's weird. People think that I'm not. But what I was going to say is the fact that thing has so much line.
Do you have any ology in you?
The fact that so many people thought, so many lines were attached to that thing,
skull,
tells me that is some statue or whatever.
Bought it like
figure,
the Halloween store.
Whatever, yeah. So like our neighbor here, he used to have a giant T-Rex in the front yard for some reason. I don't know why. And I always thought that would be cool, like at the bottom of a quarry, that you would be swimming at like 100 feet or something, and then all of a sudden you'd run into a T-Rex. That would be crazy, right? But I think that's what this is. It's one of those things where it's like some skeleton, whatever. Somebody attached like horns to it, like cow horns or ram horns or something.
Probably.
And to make people get scared.
And that's fun for like, quarries and stuff like that. They put underwater stuff in there to, like attractions. It's fun to go find the T-Rex, as you said, or whatever.
I used to be like a member. There's a quarry here in Georgia that you paid a membership. I think it was $300 a year, so $25 a month, and then you can dive as much as you want for free. And then every time you went, it would include 2 tanks, 2 rentals. So it was like, all right, for $25, and tanks are included.
Nice.
Great. So that's how I got, like, I would go every weekend and dive, 3 or 4 dives a day. And they started this tradition where they would hide this glass octopus like figure or whatever in the quarry somewhere, and whoever found it would get like a free merch item from the quarry, which was really cool. So I love those dives because then you're in a mission to find it, and they would put it always in parameters that anybody can find it. So they wouldn't put it at like 200 feet because then nobody was going to find it. I think the max depth at that quarry was like 180. So they were like, we're not going to put it as deep as possible. We're going to do it like between the 30 and 50 foot range. And they would put it near like a jet ski or whatever. And whoever found it would get the merch, which was cool. So I would go like every weekend to try to find this thing. And they would drop hints like, I am closer to the north wall, or like the figurine would have its own like Twitter account or whatever, and it would like drop hints like, come find me. And as you get closer to the end of the month, they would start like, guys, I'm right next to this, like they would make the clues very, very clear. But I remember I found it like 3 or 4 months in a row. And then the staff of the quarry, because I already had everything. I had a T-shirt, a towel, like all one of each. And they were like, how about you help us hide it? Like, nice. So I became kind of like a helper hiding this figurine. But like you said, in quarries, it's very common that they have something to make it fun.
Challenge.
Yeah. Some challenge or something. And that is really cool. Anyway,
I think
5 little clips. Yeah. That are completely different, that allows us to talk about, and you learn something today. Apparently, sharks in Australia are vicious killer machines, and we should be thankful.
And that guy got lucky. There's one guy that happened to survive the tiger sharks. I don't know how he did it, but he's okay.
Yeah, and that guy has a great life doing this, because if you search on YouTube for shark dives, where there are just people diving with sharks and nobody gets bitten or killed or anything.
Wow.
It's probably the same guy. He's like the luckiest guy in the world. There's thousands of videos of this guy in thousands of different channels.
He's a natural
in
shark
thousands
repellent.
of different
He's
dives.
Like got special blood
over the decades with different kinds.
Some reason.
Unbelievable. It's like the shark whisperer. But the video that triggered this, how do you call it, inspiration to react to the
You were very
super
talkative
lucky.
today. I said you had a lot to say.
I never talk much. But the video that inspired the first one with the giant tiger sharks, I don't know what they were, probably drugged because they missed those two divers that were so easily to eat, was the story of a diver that was decapitated. And in case you haven't seen it, I'm going to leave it right here. Pretty gruesome.
Yeah, that was gruesome. And again, I really do want to comment how impressed I am with all of your ologies. You have a lot of ologies in your name. Good job. You must every year get a new ology.
What do you call me?
PhD of nothingology. Bye, everybody.